Hey everyone, it's Jen. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I wanted to come on and just share with you some projects that I've recently completed. They are just kind of random, all over the place projects, so I thought I would combine them into one video. So hope you guys are having a great day. The first one I wanted to share with you is using these iron-on patches from Hobby Lobby. I had shown these a few weeks ago in a video. I got this set, which had two other flowers on it, and then one with Snoopy and Woodstock. And I had also shown some bags that I got on clearance, some canvas totes from Michael's, and said I was going to combine them. So I did that. I wanted to show you how they turned out. So this is the first one with the little flowers, and they're so easy to put on. Gives you the instructions right there. It doesn't tell you that you have to peel off the backing on the flower. Maybe that's obvious, but just to let you know, you have to peel the backing off first, then put them on, and then iron them. So I think it adds a really cute little detail, and these bags are nice. I mean, they're really deep, which I didn't know when I first got them. But anyway, these were on clearance for $2 at Michael's, these little canvas bags, and I think they make great little gift bags. You know, why give like a throwaway one and when you can give one that whoever, you know, gets it can keep. So that's the first one I made, and then this is the one I made with the Snoopy on it. And this one has pink canvas trim, obviously, and Snoopy and Woodstock fit perfectly on the little pocket. So yeah, I thought this was cute on the pink one because the white was, it's starker white than the white on this canvas bag, so that's why I put it on the pink one. So anyway, I just wanted to show you just an easy craft that you can make, and you know, a little gift bag. And these are, I had shown you these before, the travel mug, glass travel mug, and some socks. The socks are Snoopy themed. I'm going to give that to my sister when I see her for Easter. So, and that's the mug, which I have in my craft room, which I've shown you guys before. Hang on. Okay, just needed a sip. So that's the first project share. The next one is this wool table mat that I've shown you guys my progress. I finished it finally, and I wanted to show it to you today. This is by All Through the Night, which is Bonnie Sullivan. If you're, you know, an embroidery fan or wool embroidery fan, you probably know Bonnie Sullivan. And this pattern came out a while ago in 2002. The instructions were okay, very simple. You have to figure out a lot of things on your own, but I did do it. So let me get that out and I'll show it to you. Okay, I just zoomed out a little bit so you could see it better. This is, let's see, my table mat is 22 inches and it's bigger than that. So it's really nice, big size. And it took me, you know, it took me a while to do, but not too long. I did it, you know, in between other things I was working on. It's black wool, so it really picks up any sort of lint or pet hair that you have. But I think it came out so cute. The stitching of the words was the hardest part to do because it's, for me, it's hard to get them to get the pattern words transferred onto the black wool, but it did come out cute. And these are called pennies, so I stitched those on. Everything is, you know, hand cut and stitched and everything. I had put on these little seed beads myself on the tree cookie and on the star, and then on the heart as well. And the only thing I don't really like, first of all, well, there are peanuts. I think that's kind of a little odd choice, but they're cute. The gumdrops you were supposed to glitter them first, but I really could not see glitter staying on them, especially on the black wool, so I left the glitter off. This cupcake that I made, I didn't put the cake part close enough to the bottom part, so there's a little gap there. But other than that, I think it came out super cute. And then the back, I put on a piece of flannel just to cover up the stitching, turned it under, and then blind stitched it down to the black. And then I made a little label. You should always label your sewing projects. You think you'll remember when you made them, but you might not. And if you're giving it to somebody, it's nice to have a label on it. And I just write my signature with a water-soluble pen, or, you know, disappearing pen, and then I stitched over it with some burgundy embroidery floss, and then the year too. So I'm planning on keeping this for my family, but you know, hopefully it is a keepsake, and I will put this on a table that doesn't get used that much at Christmas time. So that is my second project, and let me show you the last one. I had gotten this watercolor workbook as a Christmas present, and I had asked for it. It's by Emily Lex Studio. I will link that website down below. But I wanted to get better at watercoloring, and this book, it gives you examples and then a light sketch of the object. Like there'll be this example and then a light sketch of it, and then like it'll explain to you how to color it. So I'm just showing you that, or explaining it to you before I open it, because I did do some. And I'll show you what I used. I used this palette. It's by Prima. It's called Vintage Pastels. And let me open it and I'll show you the little swatch card too. So this is a really nice palette. I actually ordered another one from scrapbook.com, so I'll show you that when I get it. But it's a little metal palette, and those are, oops, some of the colors fell out. I'll have to put them back in order. But those are the colors you get, and this is them swatched out. So just really pretty soft colors. I thought it would be perfect for this book. So I used that, but then there were some colors, other colors that I needed. So I used one of these Tim Holtz watercolor pencils. I used the walnut one, walnut stain. I needed just like a brown. So I used that one, and those were really fun to use too. And I think I used a little bit of this palette too, and this is a King Art watercolor palette. So it's got a lot of colors. I think I got this at Home Goods, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, one of those. So let me show you what I've been working on. Now, please understand that I am a very much a beginner, so it's not going to look great, but I'll show you what I did so far. So anyway, in these books, it gives you like watercoloring basics, supplies you're going to need. It's just very helpful to read through this. And it shows you how to mix colors. So this is the first one. This is the example, just like on the cover, and it tells you like what to do step by step. The color palette, of course, you can change that if you want to. I changed mine a little bit. So this is the one that I did. I didn't have navy blue. I could have made it probably, but I used the charcoal on this palette. So I did that. I like how it looks when it's just very lightly watercolored like that. So I'm trying to do watercoloring like that. There are lots of different ways you can watercolor, but I like when you can see a lot of the white in your project and see like the water lines. I like that. So that's how I did that one. I put a shadow in there, and I think it came out pretty good. That was the first one. The wooden spoon isn't great, of course, but it's okay. I mean, it's very elementary. It's not as good as this one, of course. But so I did that one, and then the next one is a cupcake. So you could see the example. And then I didn't really have a dark brown at that point, I didn't think, so I kind of made it more like a red velvet cupcake. And what I don't like about the one I made is, see, you're supposed to leave like white lines in between so you could see the depth of the cupcake wrapper, and I had a problem doing that. As you can see, I did it like once or twice, but I was getting a little color happy over here, so it didn't work out that way there. It looks okay, but I like how the frosting highlights came out. I think that looks pretty good. The shadow is fun to make. But these are just workbooks to try to figure out what you're doing. And then the next one is this mixer. And I had the biggest problem with the bowl. I kept doing it and redoing it, blotting it with my paper towel. But that's a good thing about watercolor. You can do that and just kind of start over. So I used more of a blue. I used the Breezy 115 there to do the blue. I have to get better at color, at mixing. So I did that in, I think the next one I'm going to show you. But yeah, so that's the next one. It didn't take long at all. Obviously, these are very simple drawings, so I probably should do more shading up here. but that's the next one I did. And then this is the last one, the cookies. And I made my cookies a little bit lighter than the example ones. Not really a conscious decision, it just kind of came out like that. But I do like how there are highlights there. As you can see, sorry for the shadows, but I like her style a lot, Emily Lex's watercolor style, so I'm trying to emulate that or use it as an example. But yeah, so this is what the sketches look like. I haven't done this page yet. This one looks challenging with painting the stripes, so I'm assuming you have to use a very small paintbrush for that. This is the cake. That one looks like it'll be pretty good. Why don't we start doing one? Let me get out my water and yeah, let's give it a try. Okay, so I just brought my water over with some brushes in it and rearranged my palette so everything was in the right order. So yeah, let's just give it a try. I had gotten these paint brushes at Aldi recently, and there's a lot of really nice fine tip ones like that. This one I had already, but those are just the ones I have out right now. So let's start with, it says, okay, paint the cake creamy color, adding little dabs for texture. So a creamy color, let's see, I think this one would be nice, the suede color. So that is this one here. So let me get this a little bit more wet. My brush. Okay. So I like to just dab it off a little bit. And then, okay, let's just go in like this. Now remember, I'm just a big amateur. But I just thought I would show you how I'm doing it. Okay, we'll get down there, take some of that. And I do like to leave some white spaces there. I'll try and zoom in during my editing. Okay, get some more. Oh, get some water. Something that Emily says in the beginning of the book is the key to watercoloring is water, which sounds obvious, but like if you see brush strokes, add some water. If you made a mistake, add some water. There we go. And then if you let it dry, then you can come back in and add some like darker touches. So we're gonna leave that and let it dry. Okay, paint frosting pink. Add darker pink along piping lines and dots for texture. So I do have this pretty pink color here, which is called Apple Blossom. So you take your water and your paintbrush, just kind of make it nice and pink, and then I just dab it on my paper towel just to see what it's going to look like. Okay, so just looking at the picture, so we'll add some pink up there. Do you guys like to watercolor? I was watching Kimbo Creations. Hiya, Kim, if you're watching. And she loves to watercolor. She's really good at it. And she had a tutorial, and I was actually watching that while I was practicing yesterday. And she's very encouraging and, you know, takes kind of the scariness out of it. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Kim. It is forgiving. And this is a workbook, so it's not supposed to be a masterpiece, you know. And to make it darker, you could just add a little bit more paint on there. I think that's looking okay. This paint is really nice. And like Kim says, you can use like your inks too. You don't have to have like a watercolor palette. And the pencils are fun because you kind of just like draw first and then come in with your water. And since they're activated by water, then they kind of like turn into the watercolor look. I'll see if I could try that in something just to show you. Get down to the bottom here. Okay, I'll leave that for now. Let's see, what could we do? Maybe the green. Probably not supposed to do that till later. Yeah. Maybe we'll try the red. Although I don't know if this is red enough. Let's see. I only had this one palette. This one, I think it's, yeah, picked raspberry, so let me just show you what that looks. Yeah, that's too pink. I need a red. Which we could use the King Art palette. I'll show you some other time how these pencils work, but let's take a look at this palette. And I'm not going to finish this now, but just wanted to show you what I've been up to. Let's try a smaller brush and try just a little bit of red while we're here. This one looks nice. Just going to test it out. That might be a little bright. Let's see what a darker red looks like. Maybe like this one. No, that one's pinker. All right, we'll go with the bright one. Let's try this one. Oops. Yeah, I think that first one. All right, so I'm just going to try a little bit of red and then I'll let you guys go. Yeah, that's a nice red for strawberries. This will be nice to come in and highlight, I think. Oh, I should have left a little pink highlight there, or a little white highlight. But that's okay. Let's see if we can blot any of that off. Not really, I guess that's okay. And then we could come in later and make the edges darker red. I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly like the example, of course. And water makes it lighter. Tell you something you don't know, right? All right, so anyway, you get the idea. This is how I've been doing it. And it's fun. So yeah, I'll leave the website down below. I want to get probably a different workbook too. They have all sorts of cute themes. I think they're like $25 maybe. But, you know, if this is your style, I think they're worth it. So those are my projects for today. I'll show you this when I finish it. That's another good thing about watercolors. You can pick up and come back later. But anyway, I hope you liked this video. Just wanted to catch up on some things. So that is it for today. Hope you guys are having a great day, and I will be back soon with more crafty videos. And thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and please subscribe if you haven't yet. All right, you guys, I'll talk to you soon. Leave me a comment too. I'd love to hear what you think. Okay, bye.